Hey everybody, welcome to T. Roy Cooks and welcome to another Thursday Chatting with Troy. Cheers to you. Man, if it's your first time here, this is where I answer my viewers' questions. If you've got a question for me, just ask it in the comment section down below. If you're interested in any of the YouTube channels I may mention or products, just click that show more button down below. I've got all that information in there along with my social media links, some affiliate links down there for Amazon and ThermoWorks and Slow and Sear. Also got the questions, and we're at in the video, those questions are answered. So, you know, if you don't have time to watch the whole thing, just go down through there and pick out which questions. It'll take you straight to that point in the video. Save you a little bit of time. All right, got my questions. These are from an older chat, okay? Happy Thanksgiving, by the way, here in the U.S. Today's Thanksgiving, but I'm shooting this the week before, so I got things going on Thanksgiving myself. So anyway, I picked out some old questions. We're going to try to catch up on a few of those today. Let's get down to it. I'm going to try to keep this kind of short because I know a lot of people are busy at Thanksgiving. So hopefully you didn't have to work today. But if you did, I'm glad I'm here for you. All right, let's get to it here. Now, let's see. First question's from Big Oak. What you got for me, Big Oak? He says, T-Roy, great videos, man. Always enjoy watching them. I appreciate that. Thanks, man. He says, I got a question for you. How can I get bite-through skin on my smoked chicken? Every time I smoke chicken, the skin's tough and kind of rubbery. I'm going to be doing my first barbecue competition in my hometown in October. Hoping you can help me out, man. Oh, man. Yeah, this is an older question. Sorry, it's now November. Anyway, I haven't really... I did it one time, but I lucked up. And I really don't remember what I did. The competition cooks that I see, like my brother James, Aim 'em and Claim 'em Smokers, links down below, just hit show more. Whenever he tries to do stuff like that, he takes the skin off the chicken, and then he scrapes the fat from the inside of the chicken skin, and then puts the skin back on the chicken. He smokes it for a little bit, and then I guess about midway through the cook, he'll take and put it in a foil pan, along with some butter and some other spices and stuff. Just kind of like let it braise in that butter mixture and finish cooking that way. And it usually turns out really, really good. James is one heck of a good cook, man. But y'all go check him out if you hadn't already. Good guy. Great question, though. Appreciate it, Big Oak. Look forward to seeing James back over here again, too. Next question we have is Chuck C. What you got for me, Chuck? He says, what temperature do you shoot for when you're taking your pork shoulders off the smoker? And do you ever inject? He says, I was looking at Oak Ridge Barbecue, but didn't see anything that caught my eye. I want to get some flavor inside instead of just pouring barbecue sauce all over it later on. So thanks in advance. Yeah, Chuck, appreciate that, man. Cheers to you. I'm not sure if Oak Ridge Barbecue has any injections or marinades. I think they may have marinades, but I think they're just rubs, basically. But all their rubs are good, man. I mean, really, really good. Let me see. I know Heaven Made Products makes some really, really good injections and marinades. And you can actually inject the marinade, okay? But check them out, heavenmadeproducts.com. I'll put a link for it down below. And if you use my promo code, Troy20, you get 20% off your order. So appreciate that, man. Yeah, I think that's what I would do. Usually for the temp, though, I cook it like I would a brisket. So I usually pull it off close to the 200 internal temp range, 196 to 200, somewhere in that range. But yeah, I just cook it like a brisket, man. One way you can tell if it's done is, especially if it's bone in, if you can take and kind of twist that bone and it's really loose in there, like it's going to pull off the meat, then it's done, okay? But I'm like you, pork shoulder, pork butt, Boston butt, it's hard to get flavor in them if you don't inject. So the injection be pretty good. I usually don't do that, but because I like to pull the pork and then I just sprinkle some rub on the pulled pork. That's how I do it. But if injection is the way you want to go for it, man. Nothing wrong with it. But yeah, check out Heaven Made Products, man. I'm trying to think if there's any others out there. Can't think of anything off the top of my head, but maybe Cosmos Q. I think they come out some marinades and stuff, so check them out too. Cosmos Q. I'll put links down below. Hit show more. But thanks for the question, Chuck. Next question. Oh, it's my buddy from Punk Rock Kitchen, Mad Mac Tenants. Vosh is his name. How you doing, Vosh? He says, hey, brother. First off, I love these Thursday Q&As. Hey, cheers to you, Vosh. May I ask a question? Sure, go ahead, man. Go ahead, what you got? He says, have you ever thought of using your rotisserie to make a homemade Doner Kebab or Gyros? I was thinking of making this stuff indoors someday, but it would be great to see a proper one. Cheers, brother, and keep up the good stuff coming. And say hi to Karen. MMT. Yeah, Mad Mac Tennis. Y'all go check him out. He's got a great channel. He gets really involved on his videos, so he shows you from beginning to end everything you need to know to make the meals that he makes. Cheers to you, Walsh. Great guy, man. Great guy. He sent me a cheese cutting board and some other goodies, too. Next question we have is from Redbeard. He says, I have a Weber Smoky Mountain, and for the life of me, I can't get a smoke ring on a brisket. I use a cold brisket, a water pan, spritz, lots of hickory, and no meat tenderizer. It means he's not cheating. He says, any suggestions? I'm starting to think peeps that get a smoke ring using the Weber Smoky Mountain on YouTube are using rubs with Tender Quick or that pink stuff. I know the ring doesn't affect the flavor, but it looks so cool. Is a stick burner the best way to get the right smoke chemicals to make a good smoke ring? Maybe an easier question, does your Yoder produce a more reliable smoke ring compared to your Weber Smoky Mountain? But last question, yeah, my Yoder will produce a more reliable smoke ring than your Weber Smoky Mountain. On the Weber Smoky Mountain, you can't get it to get a thin blue smoke like you do on the offset pits. You will have some smoke, white smoke coming out because it's smoldering the fire, okay? Smoldering the wood down in there. So maybe you need to close that vent on the top lid a little bit, just to kind of hold that smoke in there a little bit longer. Or maybe try some different rubs. You know, I mean, honestly though, if I just use salt and pepper on the brisket, I'm getting a smoke ring when I use it on my Wichita. On the Weber Smoky Mountain, I'm with you. Sometimes I do, sometimes I don't. So it's kind of hit or miss on the Weber Smoky Mountain. It does look really cool. And the Weber Smoky Mountain will get you a nice brisket smoke ring or pork butt smoke ring or whatever. But yeah, maybe you need to try to close that upper lid just to kind of hold that smoke in the cooking chamber just a little bit longer. See if that'll help, okay? And again, try different rubs, man. You know, different rubs have different ingredients in them. And maybe it's the spritz you're using. I like to use like a fruit or apple juice type spritz. You know, maybe the sweetness and the sugary content helps form a nice bark, which again helps the smoke ring. And as long as you got water in the water pan, you should be getting a smoke ring, man. Really should. You say you're using hickory. Hickory is pretty stout smoke. You know, I don't know. Either that, maybe your Weber Smoky Mountain's just not quite broke in yet. Maybe you need to cook on it a little bit more. I don't know. You didn't mention how new it is. The newer Weber Smoky Mountains, they take a little while for them to build up some carbon on the inside and get seasoned properly. So the very first, handful of cooks, you're not going to get a smoke ring usually. Anyway, great question. I hope that helped a little bit, man. Next one, that's my buddy Jatil, Elton's Barbecue Pit. How you doing, Jatil? You know I got to do a cheers to you, brother. Ha! Jatil says, do you fire up the Yoder just to cook a steak or two? Why, yes, I do. And I love it, man. I love it. Yeah, I like to cook steaks directly over the wood. I've got a grill grate that I can put in my firebox directly over the wood coals. In fact, I did that tomahawk steak. I fired up the Yoder just to cook that tomahawk steak recently, folks. It's been a month and a half or so. That Yoder, when you cook steaks directly over real wood, it makes a huge difference in the flavor of the steak, man. Really, really does. Plus, I like the smell. I like to hear that wood popping and stuff. Good times. Appreciate the question, Shatil. Next question we have, it's my good friend Gordon Farmer, also from over the big pond. He says, hi Troy, I've got myself an offset smoker. Thanks for getting me into smoking. Hey, you're quite welcome, Gordon. I'm thinking of using brown sauce in my meat instead of rubs. Is that okay to do? And what would you recommend? I'm glad you liked the Worcestershire sauce, and let me know if you need more. Yeah, Gordon, I love that Worcestershire sauce, man. It's good stuff. He's in the UK, and he sent me some Worcestershire sauce from over there, so it's good stuff. It's a little bit different than what we have here in the States. A little stronger. Let's see. For wood, just use what you have locally is the main thing. Use a fruit wood or a nut wood. Harden like if you got pecan or you got some kind of like a hickory or an oak. Those are wonderful. Some kind of a hard wood. Okay, that's what I would start off with, especially if you're using your cooker to do big, thick pieces of meat like a pork butt or a brisket or something like that, or a leg of lamb. Leg of lamb, you might want to go a little lighter on the smoke, though. And with chicken and other poultry and stuff, go lighter on the smoke. Maybe use an apple or some other type of fruit wood, pear, tangerine, even some grapevines, work. Some kind of fruit, on those lighter tasting, the meats that don't have a whole lot of flavor to begin with, poultry and your lamb. Anyway, browning sauce. Yeah, that should be fine, man. That should be real good. It'd be no different than putting beef broth, injecting your meat with beef broth. It'd be the same thing. So I've done it. It works great. I also want to just melt down some butter and add it to the browning sauce and inject that in there. Yep, that'll work. Appreciate the question, Gordon. Thanks, man. And again, cheers to you, my friend. Next question we have is from Chris Reed. How you doing, Chris? Cheers to you. I'm getting a little thirsty. That's why I'm cheering everybody. But really, cheers. All right, Chris, what you got for me, man? He says, where did you get that Booth Bay Harbor t-shirt? From Booth Bay Harbor. Me and Karen took a trip up there last October. We got around that. We actually landed in Boston and rented a vehicle and just drove all up the East Coast. All through Maine, Connecticut, New Jersey, and a little bit of New York. Not New York City, because, again, we don't like the big cities. And worked our way around Vermont, all that. Had a good time, though. But, yeah, we had a friend suggested we try or go check out Booth Bay Harbor. And, of course, the day we got there, it was cold, but we were able to get out on one of those whaling boats, the little tour boats, and go around the harbor. And while we were there, I did a little souvenir shopping. Got me a hat, got me a shirt. Good times, man. We loved it up there. It was good times. Appreciate the question, Chris. Next question's from James Bryce. He says, Yo, T-Roy, out of your pits, which one is your favorite? Now, Yoder, Wichita. Gotta be, man. Yoder, Wichita all the way, man. Love me a good offset. He says, I'm thinking of purchasing a Weber Smoky Mountain over here in the UK. They are quite pricey. And they don't even have the Wichita over here, so the WSM it is. Thanks, and love the meat porn. Hey, appreciate that, James. Yeah, if I didn't have the Yoder Wichita, it'd be close between whether I get the Weber Kettle with the slow and sear or get the Weber Smoky Mountain. Because I do like smoking meat quite often. But if you got the kettle, you can do some quick searing or some low and slow if you've got the slow and sear. So that's kind of more like an all-around type cooker. But Weber Smoky Mountain, it produces meat that is flavored pretty doggone close to what you get off the Yoder Wichita. It's not quite the same, but it's close. So if you get one, I'm sure you will love it. And they're easy to cook on, man. Really easy to cook on. Set it and forget it practically. All right, another question here from Andy Olson. How you doing, Andy? He says, Troy, I know you have your own gig, but why not have your own BBQ Pit Boys chapter? Andy, I actually looked that up one time for the Austin area. There's like 6 or 7 different BBQ Pit Boys chapters around this area. I don't think they need any more, I don't know. I'm just not into it. Next question's from, it's my buddy Darren, the Gucci pilot. He says, Hi, T-Roy, Darren here. Hey, cheers to you, Darren. Appreciate you joining us. He says, sorry, I got another question. No apologies needed, man. You ask anytime you need. He says, I was watching old videos of Chef Justin Wilson and Chef Paul Prudhomme. What's the difference between Cajun and Creole? Thanks, bud. Cheers to you. That's a great question, Darren. Usually Creole is more around the New Orleans area. It's more French-based, whereas Cajun is from Acadiana, which is a little bit west of New Orleans and going up like through the Lafayette area and Lake Charles areas, stuff like that. Cajun doesn't really use a whole lot of tomato sauce or tomatoes in their dishes, whereas Creole does. That's why Creole gumbos, Creole sauces, they have a red tint to them because they use a lot of tomato sauce, tomato products in the cooking. Cajuns, they don't use the tomato stuff, and they flavor the food a little bit better. I think they both Creole and Cajun, I think, use the Trinity, which is bell pepper, celery, and onion. But the main difference is the Cajuns have more flavor, and the Creole is more tomato-based. At least that's my understanding from what I've tasted personally living in, growing up in Louisiana. I like Cajun a little bit better. Cajun tends to have a little more spiciness to it too. Not hot spicy, but just a little more kick, you know. You kind of feel it in the back of your throat as you're tasting the food. You know. The Creole is more of a mellowed down version of Cajun. How about that? Would that work for you? All right, got a question here from Chris Brown. How you doing, Chris? He says, question, are you a Walking Dead fan? Cheers, my friend. Hey, cheers to you, Chris. Thanks, man. Walking Dead. No, I'm not. I've never seen a single episode of Walking Dead. I really don't watch a whole lot of TV. If I do, it's going to be probably some Star Trek or something like that, or some football or some NASCAR. But just regular, like, primetime type shows, I don't really watch a whole lot of that stuff like that. I know a lot of people do. I just never have gotten into it. Next question is from Rusty KC. How you doing, Rusty? I ain't heard from you in a while, man. He says, how do you pick which cooker you're going to use? Do requests from fans have any impact, or is it simply what mood you're in that day? Troy, you're one in a million. Cheers to you, my friend. Hey, Rusty, thanks, man. Appreciate that. Cheers to you. It does have some influence from the fans. You know, it depends on what you guys are asking me to cook and what to cook on. So that does play a part. But normally, it's just whatever I haven't used in a while. You know, like I mentioned last episode, I haven't used the Weber Smoky Mountain or the Yoder Wichita here in probably 2 or 3 months. So I need to cook on those some more just to, you know, get the cobwebs off of them. But yeah, I do take suggestions from you guys, and you know, like I've had quite a few suggestions to try doing a comparison between the Weber Smoky Mountain without the water pan, excuse me, and the Pitbarrel cooker. You know, so I'm looking forward to trying that out when I have some time, probably after the holidays. It's kind of, everything kind of gets hectic around the holiday season and stuff. Plus I got, you know, company coming in from out of town, you know, family and stuff visiting, and both for Thanksgiving and the holidays for Christmas. So it's I'm kind of trying to shoot in between visits from family and all that good stuff. Anyway, y'all don't need my whole story here. All right, we got a question here from Robin. He's got Ruben's channel. Y'all check him out. He says, do you think it would be all right to burn wood in your Weber Smoky Mountain? So I'm wondering, since you need a good bed of coals, if the temps would just be too high for barbecuing. Thanks again for the videos, and keep up the good work, and cheers to you. Cheers, Robin. Thanks, man. You know, my brother James, Amon McClamon Smokers, he likes using lump charcoal in his Weber Smoky Mountain, and he actually does that for his competition cooks. So it is possible. As far as using wood like I would use in my offset, I don't see why that wouldn't work, but the whole idea with the Weber Smoky Mountain is you have even temps, and it's a set it and forget it. If you're using real wood, or even like lump charcoal, I would think that the irregular burn of the wood is going to make it difficult to maintain temps. You may be able to maintain within like a 50 to 75 degree range, but without having to like babysit it, you're probably going to have some temperature swings as wood lights and wood dies down and catches flame and then dies down again, that kind of thing. So it's going to come in cycles. Kind of like how it happens on my my Yoder Wichita, If I don't put a log on there and within like 45 minutes to an hour, that temp starts dropping. When I put a new wood on there, it'll climb up. A lot of times it'll get higher than what it was, and it'll settle back down where I had it. So it's in cycles like that. But you could do it. I don't see why you wouldn't be able to do it. Like I said, James does it. Give it a shot, man. If it works out for you, let me know what you're doing and how it works out for you. I've never tried it. All right, got a question here from Stephen McGowan. How you doing, Stephen? Appreciate the question, man. He says, the offset smoker seems to be the holy grail of all smokers, but requires constant attention to the fire and the temp. Yeah, it takes a lot of TLC, let's say, tender loving care. He says, do you think the cost and time invested per cook turns out better barbecue than the Weber Smoky Mountain or Pit Barrel cookers? Yes, I do. Personally, for me, yes. The offset smoker can produce barbecue that is beyond what you get off of either the Pit Barrel cooker or the Weber Smoky Mountain. So yeah, in my opinion, it's worth that extra time and effort and cost. Got another question here. It is from Spencer Wright. How you doing, Spencer? Cheers to you. Spencer says, Dear Troy, awesome show. Thank you very much, Spencer. Appreciate it, man. He says he's a big fan from Western New York, so cheers to you. Hey, cheers to you. Another swig. Like all my fans up there in New York. Let's see. My question is, have you ever ran into sulfur-smelling pork ribs? Ooh, pork ribs that smell like sulfur? No, I haven't had that happen. I have run across some, I got some crab legs one time. They had like an ammonia smell. Had to bring them back, man. No. I haven't had any ribs or beef. Usually they change color if they're starting to go bad or something. You can see a difference in the color of the meat. That doesn't sound right, man. What else you got? He says, Spencer says, I've been buying ribs to smoke on my Weber Smoky Mountain, and every once in a while I get some ribs from a local grocery, and they smell like sulfur, even after a good rinse. I've taken some back to the store to exchange for a refund, but now I'm extra weary of the smell. Any advice would be great. Thanks, Spencer. Spencer, yeah, once would be enough for me, man. If they've got different brands of pork ribs, try a different brand. Maybe it's the way that they package the ribs from that one company. Or try a different grocery store, man. It's like when I go buy meat from my cooks, especially if it's beef, there's a certain H-E-B I like to go to. All right, it's not my usual H-E-B, but there's one that I go to because I know the butchers, and I know they've got great product. I think their beef actually tastes better and is more tender and juicier than my H-E-B I usually go to. So you may try a different grocery store, or again, try a different brand. I haven't run into that, but I don't. Yeah, check the color, man. Check the expiration dates, all that good stuff. That's not good, man. That's not good at all. If you complain enough, though, maybe that store will get the hint and stop ordering from that company. There you go. Wish you luck with it, man. Next question we have. Oh, it's from my buddy Lawrence. How you doing, Lawrence? It's from LV. Hey, Troy. Lawrence here. Great channel. Keep up the good work. Okay, man? You got it, man. Thumbs up, man. It says, my question is, the WSM is a good first-time smoker. Oh, I'm sorry. My question is the Weber Smoky Mountain a good first-time smoker? So far, to me, it seems the best all-around cooker for a newbie. Yeah, if you're totally into cooking and smoking meat, actually, the Weber Smoky Mountain would be my first choice for a newbie. It's very simple to operate. It cooks tremendous barbecue, and it can even be used to grill steaks, like I mentioned a few episodes ago. Just put your grill grate directly over the charcoal bed, and you can take the midsection off, and you can grill some chicken or some fish or some steaks or whatever on there too. So it's very useful, very handy to have around, and it's easy to cook on, and it cooks great food. That would be my suggestion as well. Appreciate the question, Lawrence. Cheers to you, my buddy. There you go. Next question is from B. Kramer. He says, I started smoking with a Masterbuilt propane vertical cooker about a year ago. I want to upgrade and get the next best barbecue. Looking at the Weber Smoky Mountain and the Yoder Cheyenne. I want the best barbecue quality. Does it seem reasonable to go from a Masterbuilt to a stick burner? Yeah, there's nothing wrong with that. I will say the Yoder Cheyenne is fairly small. I mean, you can probably fit one brisket in there. Maybe a couple of pork butts. It's pretty small. So you might want to consider getting the Wichita or some other stick burner that is within your price range. I mean, the Cheyenne is going to work for you. I'm just letting you know. If you try to cook for a party or something, you may need to cook some meat ahead, or you may need another cooker to help cook the meat. But there's quite a few videos out there on my friends that are using the Cheyenne. So if you haven't checked those out, just do a search for Yoder Cheyenne on YouTube. Quite a few good videos out there. And I would say there's not going to be a problem for you if you go from the propane smoker to a stick burner. That's one way to dive in and just start out cooking some fabulous barbecue, man. If you don't want to go that route, you want a little intermediary jump, go with the Weber Smoky Mountain. That's what I would do. But all in all, I started with the Weber Smoky Mountain, then I went to the Yoder Wichita. They're different animals, so even if you learn the Weber Smoky Mountain, it's not really going to help you a whole heck of a lot when you move over to stick burner. That's what I'm saying. If you want to go dive into a stick burner right away, go for it. You're starting off ahead, man, in my opinion. Folks, I think I'm going to call it right there. It's been about a half hour or so we've been doing this. And again, I want to keep it short because it's Thanksgiving. So hope everyone out there has a great Thanksgiving. Cheers to you. If y'all like this, y'all give me some thumbs up. Hope you share the video. When you do, please tell all your friends that T-Roy cooks responsibly. Cheers, everybody.